EAGLES, Eagles.
And welcome in, everybody, to a Tuesday morning edition of Birds 365 here on JAKIB Sports. I'm your host, Zander. Krause. That's my co-host, Johnny Mac, John McMullen. Hope everybody had a peaceful Memorial Day weekend. I know the weather wasn't too good, but a nice extended weekend for everybody. And now we're back here on a Tuesday. J-Mac, how you doing this Tuesday morning, my friend?
Yeah, happy on-field OTA day. Phase 3 of OTAs start today at the Jefferson Health Training Complex. I always have to pause because I want to say NovaCare, but they will happen today. Reporters not in there today. Hopefully we'll be in there tomorrow. Not official. Might rain. Could kick it back to Friday. They'll take Thursday off. So little 3-day cluster. Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday on-field OTAs. So getting closer to football, not football, no pads, no hitting, no physicality. So, but that's just the reality of football, not only in the NFL, but everywhere. Not allowed to do things. So this is the closest we get until training camp and the pads come on.
No doubt about it. So we got 3 days this week, Johnny Mac. And then what's kind of the full picture look like on OTAs? Is that it, just the 3 OTAs, or are they doing multiple weeks of it? I know it kind of goes back and forth depending on what team you're talking about. What's it look like this year for the Birds?
Well, you can use 10. The Eagles are only using 6. So they have a 3-day cluster next week as well. And then they have the mandatory mini camp. Which will close out the spring session of work. And then you have that lull until training camp in late July. And that, of course, is the start of list season, which we've already started. But
right.
So the OTAs are May 26th, which is today, 27th tomorrow, 29th Friday, June 1st, 2nd, and June 4th. Those are the all OTAs. Those are voluntary. So you might see some guys in, not in, but the Eagles generally get very good attendance. Obviously, you're not going to see A.J. Brown. Mandatory.
So next week's the only ones that are voluntary. This week's are mandatory?
No, this is voluntary. This week is voluntary.
So it's all voluntary.
Yeah, the only thing that's mandatory is minicamp, which is June 9th to 10th. They're doing 2 days, and they might even cancel the second day. So don't get too excited. But so June 9th and 10th are mandatory. Everything else in the spring is voluntary, but the Eagles generally have very good attendance. But obviously AJ is not going to be there this week. Or next week if they don't get the deal done immediately, which is a possibility. So I don't expect it.
No, I do not expect A.J. Brown to be in the building either. However, John, I'm sure people will have their eye on it, whether he is or if he isn't. And if you put out the tweet that A.J.'s not here, I'm sure it will still do numbers because people are still intrigued by the story.
The truthers are still out there. There's a few hanging on.
There's a couple. There's definitely a few hanging on there that A.J. Brown will be here. Obviously, do not think A.J. will be here. John, it does feel like, you've talked about this too, where, when they go to that 18th game, they're just going to give more summertime. It almost feels like teams are like prepping for that anyway, as the amount of OTAs and off-season work at this time of the year just seems to be getting lesser and lesser and lesser each year. I don't know if it's actually happening that way, but it feels like it's happening that way.
Yeah, that's probably more of an Eagles-centric thing. The Eagles definitely do less than other teams, and they have been for really the entire Nick Sirianni era, which is, organization, a decision, not just Nick, but early on, I was like, I've never met the football coach who doesn't want to practice, so I always blamed it more on the organization, but I think as he's seen the success, he's bought into it more. But you can have 10 on-field OTAs and 3 days of mini camps. So the Eagles are using 6 OTAs and 2 days of minicamp scheduled. So they're leaving practices on the table, which they do every year. This is not new. In fact, it's gotten a little bit more since Big Fangio has gotten here, because Big kind of lobbies the other way, but they can't, they're not going to use the full allotment. They just don't believe in it. They getting their guys to week 1 as healthy as possible. And it's proven to be a prudent way of doing things over the years.
Yeah, I was going to say, for anybody who doesn't like that style, and I'm not the biggest fan of it either, it's hard to argue with the results that they've had. So I do not expect them to change that in any way, Johnny Mac. So
No.
Good stuff there. All right, John, coming into OTAs here, what do you think some of the best storylines are? I know it's kind of, we're going to make more of stuff at this time of the year than it really is. But I do think this team throughout this offseason has developed some intriguing storylines to watch, at least this season. And what do you think those are as you enter the OTA period? Obviously, you won't learn too much. I think the AJ Brown trade that hasn't happened yet is a big one, but I'm kind of done with that one, John. I mean, offensive coordinator obviously would be one for me. But any others, John, that stick out to you? Maybe position battles or anything else that that's top of mind for you as you get into this OTA season that could be a big story this year or at this time of the year?
Well, I think the obvious one is Jalen Hurts with the new offense. Is sort of very much like when Kellen Moore came in. It's going to be very similar, just to see how he handles new looks and things like that. He'll I guarantee he uses the term sponge when he talks, likely tomorrow. In sponge mode, he's done this a lot, and you try to sit back and learn as much as possible. And then comes the blended part later in the process, as Sean Mannion sort of acknowledged. Then you start whittling things down and building around the strengths of the player. So I think that's by far the biggest story. And then, there's not a lot of competitions because this team is entrenched in so many veteran, successful players. But, going to do something on Sports Illustrated today about a player to watch at every position. Jalen, obviously quarterback, but other positions, different reasons. Running back, for one, I want to see Tank Bigsby because he's like a north-south guy. And to get on the field more and be like, if you want to lessen the load on Saquon Barkley, we got to see what he is as a pass receiver, what he is as a pass protector. Not that with no pads on, you can't get a gauge for the pass protection part of it, but you can for the receiving part of it and see how they utilize it, because, throwing the guys out of the backfield is a big deal in the San Francisco Rams, Green Bay type of offense. It's always been a big deal. So Tank is a guy. Eli Stowers, I think, is huge, from the standpoint of, look, if he's going to show up, this is the time he should show up, 7-on-7s. I go back to Todd Monken. It's disgusting that Cleveland threw 2 interceptions in 7-on-7s, he was saying. That's all geared towards the offense. This is Eli Stowers' time to shine.
Right.
Show off that athleticism. So I think it's important for him to get off on a strong foot. On the offensive line, I just want to see, is Landon even out there? Is he ready to play? Where is he physically more than anything else? Again, you can't judge offense. In the spring, you really can't judge the padded positions, I like to call it, the physical positions, offensive line, defensive line. Even linebackers, you can do it in pass coverage, but not in run fits and things like that. So, but you want to see just where he is physically and what he looks like, because that's my major concern on the offensive line. I think Cam's going to be okay, but not sure about Landon Dickerson. On the defensive line, Grenard and how he fits and, his explosion, I think you're going to be seeing, early, because he's such a good athlete. But again, you can't really gauge in the padded positions. Linebacker, Where's Jihad Campbell? Is he even practicing because he had shoulder surgery again? If not, how quickly, um, is Small Munden going to be able to push Jeremiah Trotter for that linebacker 3 spot? So some things to keep an eye on. Corners, you want to see Tariq Woolen, and you want to see Cooper DeJean at safety and base. And, it's going to start with Marcus Epps when they go to nickel. And, how good does Tariq Woolen? Because remember, that's Big's plan, but that means Tariq Woolen's got to be on the field for every single snap. And, the knock on him is some focus issues, some tackling issues. Not that you're going to learn a lot about the tackling perspective, but just see how he handles it.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's very gifted, similar to Eli Stowers, but from a defensive standpoint, in 7-on-7s, he's got to show up and show, that he can make things at least difficult.
No doubt about it, John. A lot of good things you mentioned there. I want to go back to the beginning. You mentioned Jalen Hurts being a sponge and how he uses that phrase often. My question for you, John, would be: Do you think it's easier to be a sponge the more offensive coordinators he's had, or do you think it gets harder to be a sponge because the old saying, John, you don't teach an old dog new tricks? Well, Jalen Hurts is going into year 7 now. This isn't a young, malleable, impressionable player like it once was. He's kind of the veteran in the room. It feels to me like naturally it would get not harder, but you would be kind of more set in your ways at this point in your career as you would be earlier. Do you see it that way, or how do you kind of see that? And I do wonder if the changing of coordinators gets kind of a little bit more of a pain in the ass as you get further into his career.
Well, I think the pain in the ass is the terminology. To be honest, I think that's the biggest pain in the ass. At this stage of his career, he knows all the passing concepts. People can argue that the Eagles didn't use them enough or this or that, but I mean, there's not that much. As I said, for people who want to get into it, just Google the illusion of complexity, the 7 to 10 passing concepts that they're going to be using. It's not that big of a deal, that part of it. What is a big deal, and what nobody's ever been able to explain to me, because I think it's ego driven, is the constant changes in terminology. Now, you have to do a little bit when you're talking about audibles and whether it's hand signals or things like that, even not terminology related. All of that's chemistry related, and you have to change that up occasionally to maintain a competitive advantage. That's understandable. But one thing I've never understood, and I've never gotten a good answer for, is why, when you have this constant, and this is league wide, by the way, this is not just the Eagles, although it's been year after year with the Eagles, but you see how many changes in offensive coordinators. Year after year, you have so much turnover. So what makes more sense, having 90 guys learn a different language or one guy adapt to what they've done? It's never made any sense to me.
Well, John, it's even more so heightened with the coordinator that's never been a coordinator before.
Well, that part as well. Now, Sean was asked the terminology question. He'll say some of it will stay if it makes sense. Some of it has to go. And they are doing some different things, so you have to add. But, you've heard some.
My question was there was like, what is Sean's terminology? Like Kellen came in, obviously had terminology. He had multiple offenses, multiple number one offenses. He'd been a coordinator for a while. Sean, I mean, is his terminology just what Matt LaFleur's was? Is it McVay?
Probably. I mean, probably
created his own in his head, and he now wants it to be the case. Like, that's what I'm confused about. Like, it's your first year. You might as well take what's working for the team you're coaching so that you can get the most out of those players in that offense, and that will set you up the best chance of success. I don't know if I'm wrong, but that's how I see it.
I mean, I would bet the vast majority comes from Matt. Maybe some comes from Sean McVay, some comes from Kevin O'Connell, but the vast majority will be Matt, I assume. why they do the way they do. It's always been done that way. Like I don't. That's the best thing Chip Kelly ever said. It's like don't tell me we always did it that way. Tell me why. Tell me, make it make sense. I feel like the NFL's that way. Why do they do it that way? It's always been done that way. That's basically it. And I do think it's ego driven to a large extent. I'm in charge. Let me put my imprint on everything. And maybe you need that, because you have to be in charge. But you've heard some of the play calls, I'm sure, and how convoluted and complicated they sound at times. I've never understood that either, especially when you got 40 seconds to work with. Why not boil it down? And some people have and boiled it down. The smarter coaches, I would say. But sort of like the old school NFL that, well, we do it that way because we always do it that way, Yeah. And it's not as complicated for them. I mean, you're just talking about personnel, formation, and then play call, but it's not as complicated for them because they understand the personnel terminology and the formational terminology. So it basically just comes down to the play call, but it just seems like a waste of time when it's a time-driven sport with 50 seconds to me. 40 seconds to me.
Yeah, you hear one of these Sean McVay play calls, and it's like 32 seconds to read.
Yeah.
John, how much turnover is there in language and terminology from year to year, irregardless of a coordinator change? In other words, let's say you're in year 2 of Mannion. How much would they change from year 1? Because do they keep it? I'll use the word that Brandon Howard just put in the chat. They don't keep it static. Is that fair to say? No team keeps a static terminology anyway. What percentage of that do you normally think changes year to year?
Well, if you have the same system, not that much. A little bit again because you want to keep a competitive advantage. So
Right.
You don't. And that's more to do with stuff you're actually communicating on the field. But so. And I just looked to give people an example. I just looked up a West Coast, play call. FB West right slot 372 Y stick. So, that sounds pretty complicated. Fullback West right slot is the formation. So they understand the formation. The fullback out to the west, the right slot is basically all it says. And then you have 372 wide stick. So basically if you read that whole thing, it indicates the fullback is playing out of his normal position. West right means he would line up immediately to the right of the tight end, one step back. Slot indicates that the flanker, who usually plays on the same side as the tight end, but split wide, is instead lined up on the left in the slot between the split end and the left tackle. Again, this is all stuff they know. So it sounds far more complicated than it really is. And then 372, 3 indicates the quarterback will make a shorter 3-step drop rather than the standard 5-step drop. The 7 is one of a numbered of series of passing plays based on using a halfback to block on the weak side away from the tight end. And the 2 indicates a blocking scheme, giving each blocker his assignment. Y stick is the pass route to be run, which is why receiver, probably people know tight end is the primary receiver, and he runs a stick route. So FB West right slot 372 Y stick. That's
obviously the most challenging for the quarterbacks too, because every other player is just listening to what applies to them. It sounds like for most of the time, but the quarterback's got to memorize and deliver it properly. I mean, that's a pain in the ass, but yeah, I get what you're saying with it all.
Yeah. So, yeah, and sometimes you have, the quarterbacks that wear the big play thing on their forearm. Because it's a lot, man. And if you're changing that, like the Eagles may run that play, but it might be something completely different. And that's where the complication comes in. But for the most part, it's formation, where to line up and all that kind of stuff, and then the play call at the end.
No doubt. Johnny Mac, good stuff there on the on QB1, being a sponge here in OTAs as they kick off today. They'll be on there today, tomorrow, and Friday with an off day on Thursday, and then they have 3 more next week, as John pointed out at the start of the show here today. John, when it comes to position battles, like you said, it's an entrenched team, so there's not too many of them right now, or at least not too many that really jump off the page at you. I think some good ones, obviously, are safety. That's the obvious. I think the wide receiver one's pretty good. And I also think offensive lineman is good when it comes to the depth at that position, which seems to be more relevant now than it once was because of the injuries and some of the age on that offensive line. But run through them for me, Johnny Mac. Safety position, where are we on safety? And then you can kind of run through the rest of them as you see fit.
Well, safety, Vic said Cooper's going to play safety in the slot. So, safety in the base, which base isn't the base, but again, I digress. Old habits die hard in the NFL. So the Eagles are in their base defense, which is why it's silly, 10 to 15 plays a game, maybe at most. And then they go into the nickel, which is the base defense because they're in that more than anything else. And when they're in that, Cooper will play the slot, as he always has. Last year, he played outside corner in the base and moved inside because of the presence of Reek Woolen. In the absence of Reed Blankenship, he's now going to play safety in the base. That's the plan. And then when he does move down to the slot, it's going to be a competition, as Vic said. So Marcus Epps is probably the default setting. Michael Carter, they want to see if he can play the position. And then you have other options, some younger. I thought it was notable that Vic already gave Kapina Gusikin, probably butchering his name, a nickname for that reason, Gush. And he got the most money of the Eagles undrafted free agents. So I think that's always notable. So get him involved along with Cole Wisniewski, who's a 7th round pick. They have another undrafted kid, Max Pulley. Andre Sam is still around. So a lot of bodies, not a lot of proven commodities. If you're a betting man, I would still say the starting safety is not here yet. But if they're not going to make a move, Marcus Epps would probably be the guy, more than anything else, just to play traffic cop that Reed had to do, which is important for their defense. And I should mention JT Gray because Big said him, but JT Gray has been a longtime special teams player, 3-time All-Pro special teams player, has rarely played safety, but that's his name position. I think he's more here to be a special teamer. But they'll give him a few reps. But right now it's Cooper in the base and Marcus Epps opposite Drew Makuba, who, is not completely healthy coming off his fractured fibula, but should be ready for training camp. So it should be no issue for, summer work.
And how much of a problem do you think that safety room is right now? I see a lot of fans that have major concerns on the safeties. I can't really say the same for myself, John. Not that I feel overly confident in them, but I think Epps is a solid player. I think Makuba showed some signs in the second half of his playing time last year. And with the 3 cornerbacks they have, I feel good about the secondary. I mean, I'm not saying it's, the greatest in sliced bread, but I'm not overly concerned about it. I see a lot of people are. Where's Johnny Mac's meter on it?
Well, I'm not concerned in the base, I'll tell you that. I mean, I think, that might be Cooper's best position. it maybe ultimately ends up there someday. But again, they only play that a very limited amount of snaps. So I think you need to get better from Marcus Epps or Michael Carter or Goosh or Cole Wisniewski. But to your point, I think he can persevere because of the strength everywhere. You can't have an all pro at every position. So, I mean, if that's your biggest problem, those are rich people problems, so to speak. And you saw it last year when Marcus Epps had to come in after Drew got hurt, and he was fine. Would you like to get better? Sure. And Howie will try to get better, but if you can't, you're still going to be a top 10 defense, because of all the talent assembled everywhere else on the defense.
Yeah, I agree. John, the other thing you mentioned that was interesting to me at the start there was the running back spot. I mean, how much, what is your expectation for Tank Bigsby's playing time in this year's for this year's Eagles?
Yeah, I don't, he strikes me as a north-south guy. He doesn't strike me as a wide zone stretch type of running back. And he's not a third down back. He's not a receiver. He's not a pass protector. So, can he improve? Well, he's going to have to improve if he wants more playing time. And that'll be stuff we learn over the summer more than that. Will Shipley hasn't really done it yet. So he would be, at least from a trait standpoint, more like a third down back, more like a West Coast back, if that's what you want to call it, even though I hate that because nobody runs it anymore, but it's that style. He's more of that. And then you have Damian Pierce, who's sort of, maybe a familiar name to some people. His best game as a pro was against the Eagles. They might remember that. He had a decent rookie season. But I think he's going to have a tough time making the team. There's a lot of guys you wonder about the fit with this offense, and Tank would be one of them. So would Saquon, though. So, just got to be a little bit more patient, which I think takes away from his strength, which is hitting the hole and going. You saw his explosion last year when he did get out there. But maybe that's part of the blending. Maybe Tank's out there. Maybe Sean Mannion's savvy enough to say, hey, this guy's north-south. Let's get him going. There's nothing that says Sean McVay can't change from what people perceive. And maybe says, this guy does this well. Let's utilize him that way.
All right, we'll see what happens, Johnny Mac. Going to be interesting to see. We got one super chat, then we got the great Jeff Kerr set to join us here on a Tuesday. Let's go to Brando Shreds with a $10 super chat. Brando, thanks for kicking us off here on the week. I hope everybody had a good Memorial Day weekend yesterday. I was at a Memorial Day ceremony. I wanted to share this with you guys. We often say Happy Memorial Day. There's really there's nothing happy about Memorial Day. So I was listening to a veteran who said it's better to say, I hope you had a peaceful Memorial Day. So I think that's what I'll use here on Birds 365. I hope everybody had a peaceful Memorial Day. Here's Brando Shreds. Slowest week of Eagles football ever. I need to pick the surface of Mannion and Rossini from Oregon State and her working for Pacific Northwest. Let's go, internet sleuths. Oh, gosh.
Ugh.
I don't even think it's that slow of a week. We had Mannion last week, and we got OTAs this week.
Yeah, you had Vic, Mannion, and boy, man, you're going to struggle from June 10th to late July, because then we're going to be talking about everybody's stupid lists.
Yeah, right. Brando, it's going to get Brandon. It will get uglier before it gets better, my friend. Unfortunately for you, but I appreciate you being here, brother. Thank you for the super chat as well. Thanks for supporting the program. We got Jeff Kerr set to join us here on Birds 365. He supports the program by his great contributions. Let's bring him in here right now. You can follow him at Jeff Kerr PHL. Read all his work at SISportsIllustrated.com with Johnny Mack. They're both doing a great job together over there. Jeff, welcome to the program on this Tuesday morning. How you doing today?
Fat Bear weekends, guys, but that's because of Kyle Busch passing away. So it's been a rough.
Jeff,
that was awful. That was awful.
Yeah.
I was driving in the car when I found out, and I had to pull over because I'm like, I couldn't believe what I heard. And when I heard it, I was hearing stuff through the grapevine that it was pneumonia and double pneumonia and potentially sepsis. This was leading up to this, and it hit home a little bit, little personal stuff that happened in my family with this a couple weeks ago. So it's
sad. Man.
It's hard to swallow. It is.
It really is, especially when you see the two kids and the wife, and it's just like a couple days it developed. You know what I mean? It goes from bad to obviously the worst case scenario. Super sad story, Jeff.
Yeah, that's why I tell people, go to the doctor, man. Just go to the doctor.
Yeah.
You're feeling that bad, go.
Yeah. And what was he, 41? Unbelievable.
41.
Turned 41 in May.
Yeah.
His son just turned 11 last week.
Yeah. Yeah. And his daughter turned, I think, 4 a couple weeks ago.
Yeah. It's a shame because they did a lot for not just the NASCAR community, but, I know men don't care about this, but infertility, a lot of that. Samantha Busch did a lot for that.
Sure men care about it if it's something that's in life.
Yeah.
Sure.
Oh, yeah. But, it's they just did so much for a lot of people. And it's just the way that I watched that guy grow up from basically being this, I don't really care what anybody says. And he still kind of kept that personality about it, but he mellowed out a lot as he got older. And, it was a lot of stuff he didn't want people to know he was doing because he had to keep the public persona of he was a bad boy. And, I think a lot of people knew who the real Kyle Busch was, not just the Kyle Busch you saw on television.
Yeah, but remember, you need that. Sports needs those types of guys too. They do.
And he played that image perfectly.
Yes,
look, I'm better than you, and I'm going to show it every single week. And I don't care if I wreck Dale Jr. I don't care if I wreck.
He was a badass driver, Jeff. He really was. He was a badass driver.
Oh, he was, and I wasn't a fan of him personally. I was a fan of his brother. I knew his brother a little bit, but I just thought he was good for the sport. So it's a shame that. You lost him, you lost Dale Earnhardt. Yeah, you keep losing these guys. It's sports built based on personalities, and he was one of the last ones left.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, it's always sad when somebody passes away that young as well. It doesn't matter, but you're right. I mean, if you're feeling, and that's part of the thing. If you're 41 years, you don't feel well, and you still work, and you blah blah, and you say you can push through it. It's best to be safe rather than sorry because it can turn in a negative direction really, really quickly. So
yeah, I had to do that a couple weeks ago with some of my family. So it's I don't want to. Let's just say it didn't get to that point, but it was getting to that point, and it's like you don't know when someone's right. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, very, very sad. Very, very sad. So, definitely our condolences to the Busch family, which, and obviously as popular as he was, I'm sure they're inundated with that, but it's always a sad situation. Unfortunately, the earth keeps spinning, and we have to talk about irrelevant stuff, which, that's what football is. So I always say,
this is the king of irrelevant stuff, by the way, shorts and shells.
If the Eagles lose, it's not the worst thing in the world, but I get it. People are passionate about it, but there are bigger things in life. Since we're bringing up Kyle Busch and speed and racing, I mean, Nolan Smith in a negative fashion, in Georgia, the Georgia program. What is going on?
God.
What is going on?
You know what's crazy, John? You ever figured people in this franchise would read the story of Jerome Brown and what happened to him? And it would hit. Well, you're right. It's Georgia in general.
Yeah.
It's
like 20 plus people have been arrested.
Yeah. Like everybody goes, "Oh, it's Jalen Carter." I'm like, it's a lot more to Jalen Carter, people.
Yeah.
Like, just look up Georgia speeding arrest. You'll find some Eagles on there.
I mean, you know, the Eagles always talk about how much respect they have for Kirby Smart's program. I get it from a football standpoint, but
From a life standpoint,
yeah,
you gotta question it. Like, when is Kirby Smart responsible for this?
that's a tough one. I mean, I can't blame him for dumbass behavior because that's a slippery
every day
slope.
of your life. But,
Yeah.
but still, though, like you're getting paid the money to, I don't want to say babysit these guys, but you're getting paid whatever you're getting paid, and it's a lot of money. You want to be the Joe Paterno, Bobby Bowden, whoever you want to be, Nick Saban, you better be ready to take the bullets when they're coming at you. And this is what I can't stand about college football. Not a single question will be asked, and not a single answer will be given.
Well, that's true too. You know, college is a wild, wild west. I mean, there's bigger problems. There's bigger problems than that. Just that, you know, why is it college football at this point? Why isn't just in like they want to keep the allure of the Alabamas and the Georgias and the Michigans and the Ohio States. They want to keep that branding, but it's professional football now. Just a lower level of professional football.
You know what? I love Kurt Cignetti. I think Kurt Cignetti is an awesome coach. I liked him at James Madison. I liked him in the University of PA. There's one thing I'd love to say to him. Man, those pockets must be deep, bud, because you're not where you are without them. And that's just the reality of it now. And that's not a knock on Kurt Cignetti. It's just Indiana was a nothing until NIL even the playing field because they got a lot of donors with a lot of money to spend.
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't spend it on the basketball team, but you know,
not yet.
You're right. I mean, he's the highest paid coach in the country now, isn't he?
Yeah, and he earned it. Like, he's a great coach, and I think they're going to keep winning because they're going to keep getting the players. And you know, Fernando Mendoza wasn't an Indiana guy; he was a California guy. A lot of these guys are like that. They're from other schools. It's hard to even keep track of where these.
Oh, you can't keep track. You can't keep track. It's unbelievable. They all go.
Basketball is even worse. Like, they're going to schools every. Like, can you imagine the Knicks made the NBA Finals, right? Can you imagine how many people would be trying to pay Jalen Brunson, Mikal Bridges, Dante DiVincenzo, all those guys?
I know people we're a Philadelphia-based show, so but you got to give the Knicks credit, man. My God, they are on the best 10-game run in NBA
11-game run. It is insane what they're doing. Yeah,
in NBA history. Ever.
They're fun to watch. They are everything the Sixers aren't, and they embody everything Philadelphia is. And Philadelphia hates them because it's in New York.
It's Nova guys, you know. Jay Wright guys, though, not Nova now. Which, by the way,
Philadelphia hate Nova guys, which I don't understand.
Well, it's Philadelphia. You got that weird. It's not a Philadelphia school thing. Philadelphia.
My favorite is the people that say that aren't actually from the city. They moved into the city.
Potentially. Well, yeah. People who live in the city get very upset when people who live outside the city say. Sometimes you just say, like to dumb it down for people, you say Philadelphia area. You're not from Philadelphia. I'm like, I never said I was.
Yeah, that's what I do. I'm like, you guys know where Philadelphia is? I'm like, and they go, yeah. I'm like, I'm about 40, 50 minutes from there. Okay, yeah, so Philadelphia area, and that's what I say.
But I mean, Nova plays at the Exmo Arena, whatever, for big games. But, they have banners up there.
They have more banners up there than the Sixers, though.
Well, you got to go back a ways for the Sixers, but yeah, I mean, but Jalen Brunson was the 33rd pick in the draft. For all the you can't develop players in the NBA. He wasn't even a first-round pick.
Dallas developed him, and the Knicks perfected him.
Pretty amazing. And then you have Josh Hart and Mikal Bridges, who the Sixers could have had, traded.
They have for 5 minutes, and I don't
Before
think they've
that,
ever recovered from
Dante
that.
DiVincenzo's another Nova guy. They traded him, but I don't know. Amazing run. You got to give the Knicks credit. Jalen Brunson's an amazing player. Amazing player.
He is. And by the way, John, doesn't it come full circle when Rick was on the 1999 NBA Finals team for the Knicks, and now Jalen's on the next NBA Finals team for the Knicks?
Yeah, well, I mean, Rick is a longtime coach as well and was a great player, but he's nothing like his son, man.
No, Jalen was special player his freshman year, and it kind of never relented. He was one of those guys that you kind of knew he was a winner just by the way he conducted his business and just the way he handled things. Like, I covered Mikal Bridges since high school. That guy was a winner, period. Like, they may not have won a state championship, but that guy had a winning attitude. And there were days where I would cover him and he'd have a bad first half and he'd take a look at me, probably take a look at his surrounding area and say, all right, I'm going to give you something to write about. I'm going to just dominate these people because I'm Mikal Bridges and they're not. And he go off for like 25 or 30. I'm like, that guy's an NBA player. I don't know how he's going to get there because he's too skinny, but he's going to be an NBA player. And fell into his body. Jay Wright saw him at a very young age and kind of grabbed him when no one else.
By the way, how good does Jay Wright look now? How
Jay
good
Wright's
does
a
Jay?
genius.
I mean, because let's face it. I mean, college is about recruiting. Now it's about NIL. It's always been about recruiting more than X's and O's, but it's a little more difficult to win at Villanova, even though he made it not difficult.
They were beating the good teams to a pulp.
Yeah, you see, after Josh Hart had a big game, might have been against the Sixers. I forget if it because they blow out everybody, so it was one of the blowouts. But Josh Hart gave a great analytics quote that I loved, and then he admitted it was Jay Wright, so he gave Jay Wright credit.
Yeah, it was Jay Wright's analytics quote.
Yeah, which is it was comparing a drunk guy using a lamppost to lean on, but it can't get him home. That's analytics. It's a lamppost you can lean on, but it's a
tool. It's a tool.
Yeah.
That's what I love about when the Eagles go on their analytics rant. I'm like, that's all great. You still have Saquon Barkley. You still have Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, I don't know if they do. I don't think the Eagles do that. I think there's a perception they do that, but
I don't think they tout it if they do it. Like the whole Kenny Atkinson quote. Well, if you look at the analytics, we won 2 or 3 games. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, just be quiet, dude. You just
got
a
loser
destroyed.
mentality. I was like, wow, the Knicks are going to beat this team by 30, and they did.
Yeah, 37, I think.
Yeah,
greatest run in NBA. Now, hey, if Oklahoma City beats them or San Antonio, doesn't matter much. But if they finish the deal,
finals.
If they finish the deal, quite a run.
Is the Western Series still going or what? With the
it's 2-2. Game 5 tonight.
All right, I watched the first couple games, but I haven't seen the last 2.
The Knicks are going
getting
to play
a ton of rest again.
Yeah, the Knicks are going to play 4 games over the next 23 days, no matter what. That's insane. Yep.
Because they keep beating the brakes off people.
That's the trick. You can't let these series go 7 games. I used to say in 2001, I'm like, look, as much as I love that Sixers team, I knew they weren't going to beat the Lakers, but they don't help themselves, and they're playing 7-game series against the Raptors and 7-game series against the Bucks, and the Lakers are sweeping everybody. The Sixers were dead by game 2, and they had to leave with 5 minutes left in game 2.
Yep, they did.
So
yeah, you're right, and they shouldn't have traded Theo Ratliff. I'll go back.
I got to meet Theo Ratliff this year. It's really cool.
All right, back to the Eagles before people get mad at us. We're going to have some stuff today. Well, we're not down there today, but on-field OTAs start today. So at least people will be on the field and you'll get to see. And I imagine it's all Jalen Hurts all the time. What's he look like in the new offense?
He's throwing slants. Yeah. How's he handling those comments? See, I told you he can't throw in the middle of the field, as no one's open in the middle of the field because no one goes in the middle of the field.
Yeah, we're going to see. Well, we're going to see some changes. You are going to see some more condensed sets. No 2x2s, I would imagine. Some 2x2s, but
there are other storyline I wrote about for Eagles on SI. If you want to go on there, like some of the storylines I'm paying attention to, and Jalen is mentioned, but he's not the biggest story.
it's got to be the biggest story. Well, AJ's not going to be there, so
yeah, AJ's not going. I called that a non-story, but
is. Well, what? Let's use your what do you think the biggest story is?
I went to other areas of the roster. Like, is Marcus Epps really going to be the starting safety of this team, or are they just kind of BSing us until they actually trade or sign somebody? By the way, there's no one to sign, so it could be Marcus Epps.
Trade time. Yeah, I would bet. And I'm not saying 100%, but I'm over 50% that the other starting safety. Now, again, Cooper DeJean is going to start in base, so he's the starter. But they play base 10 to 15 times a game, maybe on a good day. So he'll be in the slot the vast majority of the time, and who rotates in? My guess is that player is not on the roster yet.
That's my guess too. When I did my 53 man to count the players on the roster, but I did mention, I'm like, hey, look, this is going to change. They're going to add somebody. It's just a matter of who. There are some candidates out there. Like Cleveland's got a surplus of safeties the Eagles could use.
I feel like we all fall into that. Like how many? I know the safety position is not perfect, but I don't know. I feel like sometimes we fall into this trap of every single starter on the teams have to be great.
And look, I give the Eagles a ton of credit, honestly, Zander. Like they only spend $8 million on safety, which is by far the fewest in the league. But they can get by with Andrew Makuba and Marcus Epps.
I agree.
If we're being honest, it's the depth of this team I'm concerned about. Like JT Gray's a great special teamer. I like him, but can you rely on him to play?
No.
Michael Carter, same thing. Like he's been mostly a slot corner. Yeah, maybe. I think he's going to make this team, but we'll see. How's Cole Wisniewski and John? You can pronounce it better than I can right now. The undrafted free agent.
Goosh?
Yeah, Goosh. That's how I know him as Goosh.
Yeah, they gave him a nickname. I think that's a positive development.
It is a positive development. He was their highest paid undrafted free agent, by the way, next to Josh.
Also a positive development. So he should get a look. But I mean, you can't count on an undrafted free agent or even a 7th round pick. I think people forget, Reed Blankenship turned into what he turned into, but it wasn't immediate. He wasn't.
The last 2 weeks of that training camp, I thought Reed Blankenship started turning some heads.
Oh yeah, as soon as the pads came on, that's when it really started. He was arguably, you talk about money and Goosh. He was the 90th man on the roster, and I mean that literally. He was like, he got $5,000 to sign. He was the last undrafted free agent. And he slowly worked his way up, first on special teams and then a couple injuries, and all of a sudden he's out there playing.
Yeah, he played on that Sunday night football game and just kind of, that was it. Like he kind of took the horns and took the bull by the horns?
Well, the next year, so his second year, he showed up at training camp. He took every single first team rep. We were all amazed.
Yeah, you and I were standing there. We were like, "What? Wait, what is this?"
And that's how quick, people dismiss undrafted guys. They shouldn't, but it is difficult. They have hurdles.
I'll dismiss some of them. Not all of them.
Yeah, really, really quickly you can dismiss some of them. But
like I had people tell me I was wrong when I did my 50. Deontay Law's going to make this team. I'm like, no, he's not. No, he's not.
No, he's not.
Who's he making it over? Yeah, like there are guys you can sense, and there are guys you're watching, and there are guys you're just like, okay, if they're just here.
The thing about, look, he's from Alabama, and Alabama's on TV, and He started for Alabama. And again, the money doesn't tell you everything, but it tells you lots. And to your point, Gushikin got 247 grand or something. Wiru got 247.
247,500. And that's with
Yeah.
a 25,000 signing bonus. So it ended up being 282,500.
Yeah. And Deontay Lawson got like what, 20 grand? What was it?
Yeah.
Gotta look it up.
I mean, I think Rocco Underwood got as much as him. And the reason why we care about Rocco Underwood so much is because they don't have enough.
Rocco's got a good chance to make the team, but that long snapper's different than obviously.
Oh, by the way, like if you I know you wrote about him, John. I want to point this out to people. Rocco Underwood has been like one of the nation's best long snappers for at least 8 years. Like in high school, they do a metrics for that. In college, they do a metrics for that. Like that is a good pickup by the Eagles if they choose to go with him.
Yeah, I mean they're choosing to go with him. I mean, they don't have
and I like
now,
it. But
if he shits the bed in camp, obviously, or preseason, I mean, the only time you notice long snappers if they make mistakes, it's a new long snapper is a phone call away. But the plan is, and Michael Clay admitted it, and that's why I wrote about it. The plan is for him to fix this problem and be here for years. Yeah, that's what
and they think that's part of the reason why Jake Elliott has struggled the last 2 years.
Yeah, well, definitely. That's why they definitely blame Rick Lovato for the early struggles. Now it's a little bit more difficult, but yeah, I guess you can blame Charlie Hewlett if you want. You can blame Cal Adamitis because they had 2 last year. But
it's weird to blame Rick Lovato for all the years he was with Jake.
Well, it's possible that it is possible that guys get old, eventually, and they start to slip. And Rick was getting up there, and he retired. He was with the Chargers for a little bit and quickly retired. So maybe he was done. But to the larger point about,
I've talked to some long snappers, and they say sometimes it's like pitching. The fastball can go away.
Yeah, exactly. So to your point about Lawson, he was the second lowest signing bonus of the entire undrafted free agency class. And the only guy who got less was Isaiah King, who was brought in late after they cut Tucker Large.
Who did get a lot of money, by the way.
So he was last, really, if you look at the original class. So, but because of his name, and because of where he played, he's not making. They have Jeremiah Trotter and Smile London.
Yeah, they're keeping 4.
And by the way, Chance Campbell can play.
Oh yeah, that's the thing. I can't leave Chance Campbell out of this competition, but they're good at linebacker now. So
now, can he make the practice squad? Of course, that I imagine is the plan. But yeah, for people who criticize you for not putting that's absurd.
Yeah, I said if you would have told me Chance Campbell, I would have listened to you. But
yeah, that dude, Vic loves Chance Campbell. By the way, that's a guy that probably people don't recognize.
Might be a story today or tomorrow.
And they also have Chandler Martin, who nobody knows. I mean, he's
not a bad player either.
He was, with the Ravens for a little bit, and they brought him in. But he's a very good college player. I know that. That's about all I know. At Memphis, he was a big time playmaker. But it's just, I recognize that guy from Saturday. So they're like, he's going to make the team. No, he's not.
No, I'd be more impressed if Lawson went to Westchester and signed, because I'd be like, okay, what do they see that I'm not?
Yeah, I mean, and most of it's just opportunity. He's behind a bunch of guys. You got Zach Bowen, who's an All-Pro. You got Jahad Campbell, who's a first-round pick from Alabama. You got Jeremiah Trotter, who's a really good backup linebacker. You got Small Munden, who they like. You got Chance Campbell, who's their scout team player of the year that everybody loves. Chandler Martin. And then you get to Deontay Lawson, if I didn't miss somebody.
Him and Isaiah King, they're the two that you're just like, okay, they're here.
I wonder how much longer Zach Baum will be here.
At least a year.
I could see him just this year, and that could be it, but I'm not sure. He played good. Maybe they'll keep him around.
They altered his contract, by the way.
Did they?
Yeah, I think they did like a guaranteed thing. Like I think they moved up like some of his guaranteed stuff. If you're going over the cap, they have a better explainer of it. But it was like it's they made this.
I don't know why people are down on Zach Baum, other than
they made this year the contract year. But it's more for cap flexibility than anything else. Like Zach Baum will be here for 2 more years. Zach Baum had a really good year last year, by the way.
Yeah, really good.
He just wasn't 2024 Zach Baum.
Exactly. I mean, he was still. I'd have to look it up. I guarantee he was top 10 if you look at PFF. Not that they're the be all end all. Let's see. My computer's not working, but he had a very good. And Vic mentioned, remember, he's the green dot guy now.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't see any way you move on from Zach Baum.
No, not for at least 2 more years.
Now, football moves quickly. Yeah, he was the Eagles' top-rated defender last year from PFF standpoint.
And they had some good defenders.
Defenders. Let's see. He had 20 pressures in 2024 when he was a superstar. He had 18 last year, had 4 sacks last year, 4 sacks in 2024, 13 hurries, 12 hurries last year. 3 interceptions. He had 2 interceptions, 3 pass breakups, 4 pass breakups. Like I don't understand I've heard it from a couple people. Well, Zach Baum's got to play better. Really?
He does? I didn't know that.
Top 10 all-ball linebacker in the NFL. At worst, top 10. Really good player.
They don't know what a good linebacker is because they haven't had one for 25 years.
Is that the reason? Maybe.
I don't know. Maybe they want Trotter to play.
Well, I don't. They want Deontay Lawson to play.
You know what? That's what I should have said. All right, we'll cut Jeremiah Trotter for Deontay Lawson, and we'll see how you feel about that.
Well, it cut Zach Baum for him. I'm joking.
God.
I'm joking.
I feel bad for little Trotter. That's the case.
Yeah, Trot, by the way, remember last year, he got most of the first team reps because Jihad was coming back from shoulder surgery and Nakobe was out. And he looked great.
Yeah,
he really did.
I mean, if they had to go with him in week 1, they could have done it.
I thought they were.
Yeah, we all did. That was one of our.
And they just stuck Jihad out there, which was the right thing to do because he played tremendously. But yeah, I don't know why people are down on Zach Baum, but overall he was number 6 in the NFL last year from PFF. Fred Warner, who barely played, so really 5 of the people who played. Jack Campbell, very good player. Devin Lloyd, tremendous year, but he plays much less. Devin Bush plays much less. DeMario Davis, love him, but he's 100 years old.
Yeah, he's my age.
And Zach Baum. So if you're talking about guys who play as much as Zach Baum, he was number 2 to Jack Campbell. I'll take that.
I would too.
I mean, and he's the leader. He's now the leader of that defense.
Yeah,
he was last year too.
Yeah, I love how they gave him the green dot.
I think because people love Nakobe so much, they just assumed Nakobe was doing it, but because Nakobe was out, Vic just gave it to Zach, and he was doing so well, he just left it with him.
Yeah, that's one of the benefits of hitting on pick after pick after pick. Like Nakobe Dean was a high draft pick for you, and you could let him walk because you drafted somebody else who is really good.
Yeah. Well, that worked, but did they draft him if Nakobe wasn't hurt though? Probably not.
Probably not, but that was a luxury pick too. Like they traded up a spot to get him because the Chiefs said, "Well, we're not taking him. We're taking Josh Simmons."
Yeah, that was Well, they were trying to go way up to get Jihad. They were trying to get up to 22.
Yeah, they had him as like a top 20 player on their board.
Yeah, same thing with Mekhi Lemon. Similar, not same, but similar.
Yeah.
They had
Mekhi Lemon was more of a thought Mekhi Lemon was more of a needed pick, especially it made more sense after they traded for Grenard, which you and I kind of hinted in that week they were gonna do that.
Yeah. I hinted for months. They were getting Grenard. I
Yeah.
tried to hint for months. No, it wasn't probably 4 or 5 weeks.
I did think it was funny every pass rushers the Eagles could go after. And I put Jonathan Grenard first all the time. And someone actually called on. They said, "Do you know something?" And I said, "Well, nah, Jonathan Grenard's just first. There's no reason behind it." The guy.
I love that he was in town. He's freaking in town. I love that deal was greener. But there's something you have to wait until the first round happens, and something strange goes down.
Let's put it this way, John. We're not Shams here. We're not breaking MVP winners before Amazon Prime can announce them.
Well, what to defend Shams? He doesn't work for Amazon. What is he? Who cares?
If he knows it, and he knows it.
Yeah.
Why not?
I mean, my assumption is that. But I don't know because I don't cover the NBA anymore. But you get the news and you break it. He doesn't work for Amazon. Now, if he worked for Amazon, they said, "Hey, dude," then you got to listen to your boss. Unfortunately,
yeah, I've had to do that with CBS a number of years. Oh, here's the NFL schedule. Can't say anything. Oh, here's this. You can't say anything.
There's so many things I can't say. It's very difficult to avoid the grenades. But that's the life we live in. Yeah. Unfortunately,
I don't think Major League Baseball was too happy when I found out who the Phillies All-Stars were 10 hours before they. Oh, we have to announce. I don't work for Major League Baseball, so I don't care.
Well, that's another thing. When you tip picks, people get angry at it. It's like, what do I care? What do I care that you're watching on ESPN or the NFL Network? Now they're the same thing, by the way.
Yeah, that was I remember how I worded it for a couple players too. Just talk to so and so; they won't be taking an All-Star break this year.
Why are you tipping picks? Why? Why not?
Why not? Who cares? They stay off this.
Yeah, exactly. If you're watching TV, go watch TV.
I do it.
It makes sense to me.
I get notifications on my phone. What the Phillies do, I turn them off because I know that stupid TV is 2 minutes behind.
Yeah,
it's not what you think it is.
During the draft too, in the draft, it's all right, I knew the pick 3 minutes ago, by watching the X accounts, and then the TV reveals it. It's all right. I was
that's how I get a lot of shit for that. Just
people get mad at me if I'm reporting a Schwarber home run, I'm in the press box. I'm like, I can't help it. In my time, it's real. It's your decision to live 3 minutes in the past. It ain't mine.
People complain about everything. That's what it comes down to. And you would have a group that says, "Why aren't you tipping the picks? If you didn't tip the picks, can't win. Can't win."
Nope. Just got to do what you got to do.
And for the Eagles, that's on-field OTAs. On-field OTAs.
You going to be grading Jalen Hurts' performance there, John McMullen?
No, I'm sure Elliott's going to have the stats for you.
Just practice. practice stats. I'm telling you what, man. You could tell that guy's.
I Todd Monken last week said
Ugh.
Cleveland threw 2 interceptions during 7-on-7s. He called it embarrassing. I loved it. I
wish our coaches were that honest.
Yeah, well,
I don't know that Nick Sirianni would ever say we had an embarrassing moment at practice.
wouldn't.
Yeah, we had embarrassing. We got 1% better today. That's what we can say.
Well, you can tell with Nick because he'll scream and make it obvious.
I'm going to tell all the high schoolers when we're at open gym this week. Hey, guys, by the way, I'm going to start tracking all your shots.
Tracking all your shots.
I just track every shot, see what you guys shoot. I'm sure they'll love that.
But Elliot's a good friend of mine, good dude. But he, to his credit, like people all over the country do that now.
Oh no,
Like,
they've all started doing it. Like
Yeah.
they copied it.
Yeah.
They saw it worked for him.
So
That's where I'll give him credit.
I give him a
I'll
lot of
agree
credit.
with
It's still meaningless, but I give him a lot of credit.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of meaningless stuff. He likes to stir the pot with the Phillies. I'm like, dude, I've never seen you at that ballpark. I've never seen you care about that team until they started winning games. So, but hey, you gotta get the engagement. That's his job.
That's what he gets paid to do. Stir the pot.
Yeah, it's engagement. That's why you just take it with a grain of salt. And you just confront him up front, and he can't say a word. It's fine.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Anything else you're looking for? What were your other top looking at OTAs, Jeff?
The wide receiver 2 battle is something I'm very intrigued by.
I think it's going to be Lemon. John tells me.
I do too. I think Lemon's ultimately going to be. But how long can then Travian Wicks kind of hold the title wave? I guess.
Hey, he's the one guy who knows the offense.
Yeah, and look,
I think it'll be Mekhi Lemon eventually. I don't think it'll be Mekhi Lemon week 1.
No, I don't either. I think Wicks is going to get a fair shot at that. I think Lemon's going to be strictly a slot anyway, but I'm very intrigued by Wicks because he was kind of cast off in Green Bay. They had all those receivers and they had enough where it's like, okay, well, we can get rid of this guy. He's got 1 year left on his rookie deal. So yeah, I love how the Eagles kind of gave him a $12.5 million commitment and said, hey, we believe in you.
Big commitment, by the way.
That is a big commitment. That's why I think he's going to be the wide receiver 2 longer than we think, but he's a guy I kind of want to watch because those are the guys you do watch in the shells and shorts to see how they're running routes, to see how the communication is with the quarterback. I know it's June, but
separation.
Kind of stuff you look for. Yeah, separation from Quinyon Mitchell, which is very hard to do, by the way.
That is very hard to do. And that'll be something to watch Quinyon shut down this entire receiving corps.
And then we're all going to say they suck, and it's kind of the opposite. It's Quinyon Mitchell's really good at his job.
Yeah, it really is, man. Quinyon, boy, did they hit a home run in that draft, man?
Yeah,
that's
what. Go, Jeff.
This is like an all-season content story, and Sports Illustrated, the overlords loved it. How Quinyon Mitchell fares against all the number 1 receivers the Eagles are going to face this year. It's really good, by the way. Like, he shuts everybody down.
He shuts everybody down.
I mean, guys,
the problem is how do you get better from that? It's sort of like now with your Phillies pitchers. Like they're on a run. They're on like a Wheeler and Sanchez are on like a Knicks run, historic.
Yeah.
It's like you can't get better than that.
I'm pretty close to Sanchez, and he smiled and winked while he was talking in Spanish to me about like is there any way you could get better? Like, how do you get better? Is there anything you're missing here? And he smiled and winked and said something in Spanish, and Diego, the translator's like, you just kind of gotta keep doing what you're doing. There are things you can be better at, but really
nobody's perfect. But in reality, you can't get much better than what he's doing. You can't. You can only sustain it. Same thing with Quinyon. It's like he might be a better player, but have a worse year. I say that. I explain that all the time.
Darrell Rivas,
like Zach Bond.
Yeah.
Zach Bond is probably a better player from a football IQ, from understanding the defense, all that stuff. but he couldn't have the same type of year he had in 2024.
You know who that's going to be this year? And he'll have a higher sack total, but Jalen Hunt. Are we really expecting Jalen Hunt to lead the team in sacks and interceptions again?
No, well, certainly not interceptions, but yeah, I mean, it's not possible. That's my concern with Quinyon and Cooper too.
Cooper
how do you play
DeJean
better?
still has not allowed a touchdown pass playing slot corner. He has scored more touchdowns playing the slot than he has given up.
It's going to happen.
Yeah,
can't tell you when, but it's going to happen.
And get ready for people to say they're declining players.
Oh yeah, well, you know how that goes. It's really difficult on outside corners, which really makes it amazing the way Quinyon is played, because people just shit on you quickly, like you saw Sauce Gardner and with the Jets, and all corners get beat. All corners.
Now he's at the Colts, and they're like, "We paid this much for this guy." Yeah, he's really good.
Yeah, so it's difficult to live up to that standard, but he's going to be a great player.
It's a shame the Eagles are kind of filled at the slot because Cooper DeJean's really good, and they have Jonathan Jones there. But man, Kelly Moore's
Jonathan Jones is going to be the backup outside.
I have Jonathan Jones making the team.
Oh, he's making the team. No shot, no doubt.
He's a good player. I like that. That was one of those under the radar signings.
Yeah, that was my top under the radar signing. That he's Isaiah Rodgers. He's there to be the third corner.
Yeah. His numbers, and I pointed this out, when you look at his coverage numbers, you got to really dive into one because he played outside. Well, he's not going to be playing outside here.
Well, I think he will. I think he'll be the backup outside corner. Now, your hope is he doesn't have to play. Your hope is.
I thought he'd be in the slot more, but
no, I think
you are right.
Ultimately, what I think is going to happen is, and again, they're either going to trade for a safety or it's going to be Marcus Epps, and then Carter's going to back up in the slot and safety, and
he'll be all over the place.
And Jones will be the backup outside. And he's a good player. And he's played like I think a lot of people don't realize, because he started as a slot corner. Like the past 6 years, he's played outside.
Yeah. In New England and Washington. And Washington's defense was a mess last year.
Yeah. Yeah. Everything about
he was good
Washington
in New England. Yeah.
Everything about Washington was a mess last year.
That's where I'm hoping to get more access, because I want to ask Jonathan Jones about playing next to Bump and Run Gilmore for a lot of those years.
Oh, great player. Stephon Gilmore. Great player. He could still play today, but he got too old.
He's 35 now. Can you believe that? Stephon Gilmore is 35.
People don't want 35-year-old corners. I maintain.
No. Ask Slay.
Yeah. Yeah. Similar thing. They just assume, and they know how to play. Stephon Gilmore was a good example, because he was Minnesota's best corner in 2024. And it's like, and he was Dallas's best corner in 2023. And
that was a good sign by the Cowboys when they got him, by the way.
And he was Indy's best corner in 2022. And he kept bouncing around. He's like, why is this guy bouncing around? Because he's old.
Yeah, he's old. Slay would have done that. That's why Slay wanted to go back to the Eagles so bad. It's like, no, this coordinator knows how to use me. This coaching staff knows how to use me. I can still play at a high level. I'm going to tell you I can still play. I'm going to make Pittsburgh look like idiots right now.
Yeah, he was a great player, Stephon Gilmore. 20 pass breakups back-to-back years in New England.
It's a Hall of Famer.
Defensive Player of the Year.
As a corner. That's hard to do.
Yeah, it's very hard.
He's a Hall of Famer. He's going to the Hall of Fame. Slay's going to the Hall of Fame. People don't want to hear that, but
I think he's borderline, but I think he should be discussed. Very good player. Very good player.
You know,
Very
ring
smart.
culture works too. It's ring culture is going to help.
Yeah, he got one. Would not have gotten two even if he got back here, but I digress.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you really want to argue, he should have had two. He should have had two in 20. His second one should have been 24, and the first one should have been 22. If we really want to go down that, piss people off right now.
Yeah, well, James, stand-up guy, man. James Bradbury.
Hey, he got one too. He was part of it. Standing in the back corner of that locker room, just smoking a cigar. That was cool.
I like James Bradbury because he stood up there after after he became the villain of Philly, and he took that penalty and he took it like a man. And
he did a lot of stuff like a man. Like he was around that whole season, that Super Bowl season.
I just respected that moment. He could have bitched about the ref. He could have done
I think he had an out to bitch about though. That's why I love him. He didn't take the out.
That's what I mean. He didn't take the out at all. He took the accountability.
Yeah, be better.
Like I held him. I was hoping they didn't call it, but they called it.
Yeah. He had a great relationship with our boy Bob Groats, John.
Yeah. He had a great relationship with everybody. Bob, best to Bob, by the way. Bob was in the hospital.
Yeah, he's not. He's. I don't know if he got out yet. When Matt,
I don't know.
Told me,
but best to Bob Groats.
Yeah.
And we hope he's doing well. But
I was fortunate enough to see him last year. Yeah, last year I saw him. It was
good dude. Bob Groats.
Miss him on the beat. We missed the hard angle.
Yes. What's the hard angle? That was Bob's question every day. What's the hard angle?
I got some good press box stories with Bob Groats, John. You were at one of them, I think. You went to New England a couple years ago, didn't you?
Yeah. I got 1,000,001 Bob Groats stories, but most
I know you do. Mine is about fisherman's food or whatever the heck he gave me for cough.
Oh yeah, he would give you stuff out of
yeah.
nowhere.
Oh yeah. I had a cough and I wasn't sick, but I had a cough and he gave me this fisherman's
He's got something
food.
in his backpack.
Yeah, and it worked. It got rid of the cough.
Yeah. Very good dude. So hopefully, Bob, best wishes. If you're listening, hopefully you're listening. And we miss you. Used to be one of the best guests. Jody loved Bob Groats.
Yeah, he was great.
Yeah. I was going to say, Zander's had
what did Jody call him? The Prince of Darkness?
Prince of Darkness, I believe.
Prince of Darkness. I'm follically challenged with Jody Mack. That's how he always would introduce me.
Yeah, because I guess at the time all three of you. Don't worry, I'll be there soon. I'll be follically challenged.
Yeah, Zander, when you're bald, I'm going to start laughing.
I'm coming soon. It'll be there. I'll be follically challenged soon. But
you got the hat on. You're fine. Yeah, you're fine.
Rocking.
Are you in Cape May, by the way?
Yeah, I'm in Cape May now.
All right.
Lucky you.
Got the Cape May.
It wasn't very nice down. It wasn't very nice down here this weekend. A lot of housework.
Is it better now? Like it's sunny here.
No, it's not really nice. I'm looking out the window as we speak. No.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, I got some shit to handle down here. Shit that I don't want to have to handle, but I got to handle it. So I'm staying down there for a couple of days, and I'll be back home.
All right, don't get seasonal depression disorder because whatever they call it, because it's too cloudy. Too cloudy in Cape May.
I'll tell you what the heck is going on in the Northeast? It's like we can't buy it. We got like one day of 90 degrees, and I'm like,
it just rained and rained and rained.
Like, if the sun wants to show up to this part of the earth, like that would be good.
That'd be cool.
I feel like we took the ultimate sacrifice the weekend before, so now we have nothing.
I feel bad for all the shore businesses, man, because it was rain out.
No, man, Cape May was
a big weekend for them.
Was it?
Well, the difference, John, when it's so shitty is people don't go to the beach. So they
that's true.
Like the Cape May's got the little mall, so all the malls they were jumping. But yeah, you're right. I think overall there's not as many people down here.
How far is Cape May from Ocean City, Zander? It's about 30, 40 minutes.
30 minutes, yeah, 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Depends where in Ocean City. If you're taking the 9th Street Bridge and you got to go all that, I mean, that bridge takes 10 minutes itself to get over for crying out loud.
Oh, yeah, that bridge is
But
horrible.
if you
I try
pop
to
in on
avoid.
34th Street or the 34th Street Bridge, it's 28 minutes. Yeah, it's not that bad.
The 9th Street Bridge, I avoid like Center City, Philadelphia, because you're just never getting to where you need to go.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. I'm not a big. Are you an Ocean City guy? Is that why you said that?
No, I actually haven't been to Ocean City in years. The last time I was at the Jersey Shore, I was at Brigantine.
Okay, Brigantine's solid. Yeah, I'm not a big. I'm a big. I'm Cape May truther. I'm Cape May or bust type of guy. For me,
Yeah,
Jeff.
I normally go to Wildwood if I go down that way.
Wildwood, I like. I actually lived one of the years.
How bad was the 9th Street Bridge before they redid it?
Oh, it was horrible.
That was awful. Awful. But I don't know if you guys remember the old bridge.
No, I don't remember it. I used to live in I got like a 4 or 5 month rental one time, John, when we used to do our post game shows from Atlantic City. I was in Wildwood Crest for 4 or 5 months. I liked Wildwood Crest. That was a cool little spot.
Yeah,
cool.
Yeah, it is nice there.
I did all that was before I was hosting, so I was just producing. I had a whole setup in my place. It was nice.
All right. Some Jersey Shore talk.
It wouldn't be Philadelphia without it.
Yeah.
That's true.
I'm a Myrtle Beach guy, boys. That's where I go.
That's nice. You know what? Other thing I wanted to ask you guys about with the Eagles was I'm thinking about this now. I know it's far out at this point, but boy, next summer is going to be chaos. I mean, are you going to pay Cooper, Quinion, and Jalen Carter all in one summer, plus with the Jalen Hurts contract to boot?
Probably not. I mean, they'll pick and choose. I mean, you have
what are they going to do? Like, John,
I think you got to get Cooper signed first.
Obviously, with no 5th-year option. And I'm not really of the belief they want to pick up the 5th-year option and let it wait on Quinion Mitchell either.
Well, you have time at least. Like you can buy time.
Who's not going to get signed? Nolan Smith.
Yeah. Probably not. Well, I mean, he didn't help himself with not
that was one of my storylines, John. Like, how's Nolan Smith gonna?
Well, I'll tell you what. If he goes out there and stays healthy and gets 12 sacks, they'll forget about it quickly. But
yeah, exactly. It's all on field now. You gotta impress him on the field.
But if things stay status quo and he plays pretty well, but misses 4 or 5 games, and there's no way they're signing him.
Nolan Smith can't be shaking John McMullen's hand as tight as he can anymore. Those days are over.
I'm smart to avoid that, man. You know.
See, I fire back. I can do it pretty. I'm a small guy, but I can do a strong handshake.
I shook hands with Adrian Peterson and Jim Marshall. You come at me.
Oh man, I can't imagine what it was like shaking their hands.
Yeah. Nobody's got a button. I tell that story all the time. For those who don't know Jim Marshall, he was the NFL's Iron Man for years.
Everybody knows him as Wrong Way Jim, but he was a really good football player.
But he played, I don't know, some absurd amount. And he's a defensive end, to understand. He wasn't like a punter.
Or a long snapper.
Yeah, and he played 272 straight games, 277. I don't know, some absurd. It was absurd.
Before Brett Favre passed it.
Yeah, and that's the best way I didn't meet him till he was like 60 years old. So he's like a 60-year-old guy, and I've never felt it. It's like a vice. It's like a vice. It's like made out of iron. I've never seen anything like it. And that because Peterson was famous for his handshake because his hands were so strong, and it was bad, but it was nothing compared to Jim Marshall. And by the way, he wasn't doing it on purpose like Nolan does to fuck with people.
Yeah.
He's just doing it in his normal, saying hello. And you're
I said to Nolan, I'm a bowler. I got strong hands too. Like, I'm a small guy, but you work on that stuff. So
you can't allow yourself.
You
can't allow yourself to be mogged in a handshake battle as a man.
You're getting mogged by Jim Marshall.
I believe that. I believe that.
There's nobody winning that handshake battle.
then he's the ultimate.
can't-
He's the Mogger. That's a nice title to have for Jim Marshall.
Well, he just passed away last year, so but and a shame. He should be in the Hall of Fame, and he didn't get in the Hall of Fame yet. He will, but I hate when they don't do it.
You figure all of the purple people ears would have gotten in by now, and they have.
Well, that's the problem. He was on that, and Alan Page, and he was the third best player on that defensive line, so he doesn't get the
and they
credit.
didn't win a championship, so that's part of it.
So he doesn't get the credit, but
they couldn't catch the snake that day in Super Bowl 11.
Amazing player. He's got like the all-time record for fumble recoveries. He's over 100 sacks. He's got everything. But it's funny because they lost 4 Super Bowls, and I always maintain he recovered 30 fumbles during his career, which is an NFL record, which will never be broken, by the way. So if they didn't make the Super Bowl and they just lost in like the Rams, and they kept beating the Rams in that era, and they just lost in the NFC Championship game, he'd be in the Hall of Fame. But because they lost, but because they lost in the Super Bowl, he's not. People are bizarre. They're bizarre.
They have this mentality. I'd rather not go to the finals than lose in the final. I mean, you're seeing it with LeBron James. Like, everybody goes, he's 4-6 in the finals. I'm like, well, he went to 10 of them.
Yeah. He's got. I'm just looking him up. He's got 200. He played 282 consecutive games. He's got 127 career sacks, 30 career fumble, which are the 30 fumbles is an NFL record. He's one of 11 players to play in 4 Super Bowl appearances. I mean, what the fuck?
You know what I like to do when people say he went 0-4 in Super Bowls or whatever? I'm like, all right, can you tell me the Super Bowl Roman numerals and the teams he lost to? No. Well, then your argument's stupid.
Yeah, it's a pet peeve because I love the guy, but anyway, rest in peace to Jim Marshall. We're tangent. It's tangent day here.
It is tangent day.
87 years old. He passed away.
That's pretty good, well-lived life there, Johnny.
Yeah. I think we'd all take 87.
No, I absolutely would. Yep.
Yeah. So, here are the records: most seasons played by a defensive player, most complete seasons played by a defensive player, most consecutive games started, including playoffs, 289, most consecutive regular season games played by a defensive player. Most opponent fumbles recovered, most fumble recoveries by defensive end, and the one that everybody remembers, most yardage lost on a fumble recovery. He ran the wrong way. That's what everyone. Anyway, there you go. Should be in the Hall of Fame.
Claude Humphrey's in the Hall of Fame, and Jim Marshall was better than him. Former Eagle Claude Humphrey.
Great player, Claude Humphrey. But you're right. But Carl Eller was better, and Alan Page was better. And they played on the same team.
Yeah. And they didn't win a championship.
Yeah.
Tough. Jeff, we didn't talk to you after the Mannion thing. What'd you think?
I was intrigued. I was more interested in Fangio, to be honest.
I said that too. Yeah. The win of the day was Fangio saying, I got 2 more years in me, so.
Yeah, that was the win of the day, and the whole he's a straight shooter, calls it like it is. But Jalen's been great in meetings. Yeah, I'm glad. He should be great in meetings, honestly. Like that's a very positive sign. I'm not going to sugarcoat it, but it's so weird to just judge offense right now. Like in May and June, you got to wait till they put the pads on. But hey, there's positive encouragement there. They're going to try to shut down any dissension between Sean Mannion, and Jalen Hurts, even though Jalen Hurts still works with Scott Loeffler. It's Loeffler. Sorry, Loeffler.
That's weird. I'm hoping we talk to Jalen this week because I want to ask that question.
Who do you think is available on Wednesday? If we had let's play this game.
Not AJ Brown. Not
No.
AJ Brown. Lane Johnson, Jalen Hurts.
Should be Nolan.
No, we will not see Nolan until the summer. This is another thing. Back in the old days, we can just grab people off as they came off the field.
Yeah, now you gotta wait for him to come center stage of the press conference.
Yeah, they will hide him as long as humanly possible.
Which I would. I just address it. Get it
So
over
would
with.
I don't get it.
Like, then don't get mad when Jeff Kerr writes an article on Nolan Smith on July 2nd. Like,
well, their mentality is everybody will forget it by the time of training camp, which they will. But when he talks
I'm an
during
elephant. I
training
don't forget.
camp, well, when he talks to training camp, we'll all remember, and we will all ask the question. So it's going to happen anyway.
Yeah. Did they do this? I can't remember last year, John. My memory's going blank. You know, they say an elephant never forgets. I can't remember how Saquon talked after he golfed with the president last year.
Oh yeah, Saquon.
Oh yeah, that's right. He did talk because I remember writing a story now. That's right.
I'm trying to think of the defensive guy who's going to talk. Probably Zach.
I don't think he'll get Quinyon because he won't say
what about
much.
Jordan? Maybe Jordan Davis?
Maybe Jordan. Yeah.
I'd love Jordan Davis to talk.
He did just talk, I guess, somewhat recently with his contract.
Yeah, his contract. I'm going to go Zach, but Jordan Davis is a good choice.
What about Cooper? He's around.
Potential. I mean,
Felix Hunt's a good one.
Project Cooper DeSheen's contract. 26 mil a year, 28 a year.
Yeah, he's a tough
That'd be
one.
nice.
It's
I
like,
know.
how do you pay him?
Yeah, how do you pay a slot corner? They're going to say, well,
how
you're
do
a slot
play
corner.
slot / safety / outside corner?
Who barely plays safety.
It's going to be interesting.
You can set the market, Zander.
He's got unique market value too. Like he's not. It's not easy to just put a comp on him, you know. Especially Jeffrey likes him.
Cooper DeJean reminds me of someone. You could pay him $5 million a year. He's still going out with whoever he wants to go out with.
He's not getting paid $5 million a year. I think he's.
I know, but he just reminds me of that guy, though. It's like I'm still Cooper DeJean.
Well, for sure, he's got the confidence. There's no doubt that Super Bowl interception catapulted.
Nikki Bell was what, twice his age, and he was going out with her or whatever he was doing.
He's going out with a Cowboys cheerleader. Nobody gives him shit.
No,
it's Cooper, John. Nobody's giving Cooper.
But they get on Devontae Smith for being a Celtics fan.
Well, they not really, do they?
Some do, but most of them don't because I think.
Like I remember poor Donnell Pumphrey getting shit on because he would always wear like Los Angeles stuff, like Dodgers jersey, Lakers jersey. I'm like, what do you give a shit? He's from there. I mean,
I like getting on a lot of the Philly writers or some of the Philly people I know that are like Knicks fans. I'm like, just tell them you're a Knicks fan. No one cares.
Well, some people do care, unless you're.
I don't care.
Like Nick's got to do all his pandering, the panderer in chief. You know, he's got to wear. Oh, the Flyers are in the playoffs. He gets. And the funny thing is,
who's a bigger panderer, Nick Sirianni or Bryce Harper?
I don't know, Bryce. So
Bryce can do it. Bryce can do it pretty well with everything. And then I ask him a question about what's actually going on in life, like how Andrew Painter's pitching. Oh, he's pitching very well, and I'm like, come on, Bryce. You give answers to everything.
Like Nick grew up a Pirates fan. It's like, all right, so you're a Pirates fan.
That makes sense. Look where he's from.
Yeah, I'm like, so who cares? You know. But the funny thing is, you know, so you know, if the Flyers are in the playoffs, and then he'll immediately take off the Flyers jersey and put on the Eagles stuff for practice. It's like, what are we doing here? Why do you have to do this?
Just be authentic like Vic Fangio and wear the camo Phillies hat like you do all the time.
Well, Vic loves the Phillies, although he's down.
I loved him shitting on the firing of Rob Thompson.
Yeah, he was.
Vic is awesome with that. Like I'm telling you guys, Vic was like that a couple weeks ago. He was at the game. He was just mad. I'm like, I love Vic Fangio.
Yeah, he loved Rob Thompson. He liked. I guess they were friends. So
we all love Rob Thompson. Rob Thompson was all. Can you name a coach that gets fired and the day he gets fired, he actually has an interview with members of the media on Zoom?
Well, most people are too bitter to do it.
He didn't care.
But yeah, Vic is down on the Phillies and what
I'm
they
telling you,
did to Rob.
Vic should get to know Donnie Baseball. Donnie Baseball's he's a good dude too. He loves to talk.
But
I get it, but
it's nothing against Donnie Baseball. It's not, it's nothing against him.
I keep trying to tell people it ain't Donnie Baseball. It's the players. You're not just going to magically make.
Well, that's what Vic
said.
Vic, I don't know if they cut it off. This was after the press conference, but we were talking for a while, and he was like, "Yeah, he's doing a good job." But I mean, they replaced the two pitchers with Wheeler and who Wheeler came back and somebody else came back.
Wheeler came back for Taiwan Walker. That was really the big change.
Yeah, you replace Wheeler for Walker, and Harper starts to hit. I mean,
I talked to Vic once about the Phillies, just in passing, and because he knows I cover them, and I'm like, yeah, Vic Fangio is really gonna. I mean, not Vic. It's Rob Thompson's fault now. Gwen can't hit. He always laughs.
Vic knows. Yeah, it's the players, man. Vic says it all the time. People don't believe it, but it's the fucking players.
Fire the coach. Like, that's going to change anything.
I guess there's some credence to like the, like when a hockey team pulls a goal, it's just like you need a spark, they call it. Maybe there's some credence.
My thing is fans are so predictable. So I said this when Rob Thompson was like, I said, look, they're going to play an easy schedule. And they're going to win games. And you're all going to say it's Don Mattingly. And then they're going to play tough teams. You're going to say, well, no, it's the schedule. I'm like, you move the goalpost every which way you can to make yourself right. Like, no, just accept the reality.
People are very concerned about being right. That is.
I don't understand it.
That is the world of social media. Did you all get
D's and F's in school? Like, is that why you want to be right all the time? Because the teacher told you were wrong and you were?
Teacher told you.
Yeah, I mean, it's reality.
That is part of it, no doubt about it. But Vic mentioned the same thing. The schedule got easier. It's part of it. But I mean, there is something to the one thing I will say is there's something to sometimes you need a different voice. So people stop listening. That's real.
Yeah.
And sometimes you need to be shaken up.
I think some guys did. I think they blame that they didn't want him gone, but they blame themselves for that because they knew they were going to turn around because of the schedule. But hey, that's what happened. And they say things are different under Don, but it's a good different, right? You got to go with the flow. There's a lot of season left. And I'll tell you one coaching change that didn't work. Getting rid of Sean Desai and moving him up to the box for Matt Patricia. That didn't work.
No, doesn't always work. No.
That was a power play.
I don't think it was a power play. It was a bad decision.
Well, yeah, that's what I meant, though. It's sometimes you get desperate.
Yeah, and I don't, Sean's tough because I think he was overmatched, but so
I heard the communication wasn't so great with Sean.
Well, some people command a room and some people don't.
Man, I have what
like Vic commands a freaking room. I mean, no offense to Michael Clay or Sean Mannion, but you shouldn't start with Vic. He's the headliner. Let him go last. Obviously,
I love when Vic was like with Reek Woolen. Yeah, we wanted to get him last year, and yeah, I'm like, just let it all out there, huh, Vic?
Well, they were thinking about trading him. That's all he said. Seattle was, and they were.
They were. He was a trade deadline piece. He didn't get traded.
The Eagles were interested, but he said he didn't get involved. Like he'll admit, like there's a lot of people who think Howie listens to Vic. Like Howie doesn't fucking listen to Vic.
He don't listen to Vic. He should listen to Vic.
Howie runs the with the department. People are weird, man. They just make up shit in their heads. It's like Nick with the coaching staff. It's like nobody thinks he hires the coaches. Vick's out there telling you the truth. Everybody ignores it.
I can
Well,
tell
Nick
you
was
every
in there.
coach I can tell you any coach on any staff in America hires the coaches.
Well, maybe not always, but here it is. But for whatever reason, because of Howie's reputation, because of Jeffrey's reputation,
Do you
and
think
they don't
it's
want to
because
believe
of the
that
Doug
Nick does
Peterson-
anything.
Do you think it's because of the Doug Pearson stuff?
Probably partially Doug. But when I asked him about Cooper, because I had heard that he recommended Cooper, he went through the whole situation, and most of the coaches weren't here. Nick was in his office interviewing like 20 guys. Nobody believes it. Nobody fucking believes it. I can't explain it.
No
matter how many times I tell them, they don't believe it.
Don't believe the person who's not covering them though.
I don't know. I don't get it.
People believe what they want to believe. It. What's a Costanza lie? The Costanza line. It's
If you believe
not
it,
a lie
it's
if
not a
you
lie.
truly.
Yeah.
If you truly believe it, it's not a lie if you truly believe it. John, you want George Costanza bobblehead next week? By the way.
Oh, yeah.
In Gore-Tex. In Gore-Tex.
Oh, yeah. Steal me that bobblehead.
Yeah, that's going to be in Reading. Jay Peterman's going to be there.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
John,
I want that. Yeah, I want that, Jeff.
All right, I'll get you.
Very few things I want, but Costanza bobblehead is one of them.
I have the Yankees one.
Well, that's even better. I'm a Yankees guy.
I know you are. You're a big Yankees guy.
Yeah.
I people watched John McMullen when the Phillies were playing the Yankees a couple of years ago because John was in the
Yeah, did you?
Oh yeah, he was sitting right in front of me. So like Martin and I are watching John watch the baseball game.
Yeah,
the Yankees destroyed him that day.
Yeah, Jazz Chisholm's hitting home runs left and right. You wouldn't know it with John.
Yeah, I think Judge hit too that day.
How are the Yankees doing right now?
Not well. They can't hit like the Phillies. They're
so that night. So funny story about that night. I'm talking to a couple guys on the Phillies, like, we like to shoot the shit before the game, and the Yankees are doing batting practice. And we're watching Judge. We're like amazed by Aaron Judge. The old analog clock in center field, Judge hit. We're like, holy, what the? Like, we're like, come on, that can't be real. They're like, dude, where's your phone at? You should have had that out. And I'm like, come on.
Well, I got there a little bit late, and I heard the first home run. He hit two. He had one in the first inning. And I hadn't even gotten in yet, but I heard the roar. Yankees are 3.5 out. Rays are unbelievable.
Oh, the Rays are good. Every year they do this, by the way.
3.5 out. 10
the
games
Phillies
over
might be
500.
the one team in Major League Baseball history to win a trade against the Rays.
Well, the Rays weren't supposed to be good, were they? The Blue Jays were.
No, they were good last year because they had the whole stadium incident thing.
Well, yeah.
Playing outside and they didn't have a field.
They played the Yankees
Yankee
spring
land.
training.
Yeah, playing Yankee land.
Yeah. I thought the Jays were supposed to be good. Turns out the Rays are.
Trey Savage is really good.
But yeah, the Yankees don't hit. They're very much like the Phillies. I think everybody's like that. Everybody,
everybody's like that. If Ben Rice and Aaron Judge don't hit, the Yankees do not score.
Exactly. It's like, because everybody's swinging for the freaking fence.
Yeah, like averages are terrible now. Like,
oh, they're all.
Everybody's like, Bryson Stott's a 248 hitter. Stop bragging on him. I'm like, 248 got
what
you
is that?
benched.
Top 10? 248.
Yeah.
248.
Trey Turner was the batting champ, hitting 305 last year.
We're gonna. I'm not even joking. At some point, 248 is going to be top 10.
Probably will be.
If it keeps going the way it's going, it's
I
brutal
don't like
to watch. I mean, you got to do it a lot. You have these large swats. The ball's not even put in play.
Well, now you got these analytics guys who can't stand Justin Crawford because he hits too many ground balls and he hits too many line drives. That's not sustainable. I'm like, that's literally how you play baseball forever until the last 15 years.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, he doesn't hit home runs. I don't care. Gets on base. Not right now. He's not getting on base, but he gets on base.
No, we'll see. Still early, right? In the baseball. Did you say they already picked all-stars?
No, this was a couple years. So they are actually they are a third of the way done officially as of yesterday.
What are they, like 50 games? Yeah, 54 games.
54 games. 54 is a third. So yeah, I actually wrote a story about it, like for Sports Illustrated, what they've done, what they haven't done through 54 game, what they need to improve on. Hint, it's hitting.
They don't hit, yeah. Except for Schwarber. Occasionally Harper.
Yeah, Trey Turner's terrible. The whole team can't hit outside of them.
And then you got everybody's got 6 relievers who throw 95.
The Phillies have a backup catcher who's hitting 083. He's
nice.
6 for 5. Yeah,
nice.
It's awesome.
Nice.
Their bench is hitting 154. Their right-handed bats against left-handed pitchers are hitting 202. Yeah, that's a real. I can't believe they're 500.
If I took it to a vote today, and you guys had a vote, yes or no to bring back steroids to baseball, would you vote yes or no?
I don't care. Either way.
Yeah, I don't care either. But yeah, I mean,
it's not going to help the batting average. It'll help home runs, but that it's not going to. You have
gone are the days where Mark McGuire's hitting 270 with 50 home runs.
Yeah,
I don't know, John. A little confidence. You start cranking 450 yards. You know,
the average is about their approach. That's what it's about.
You know what? People could complain about the steroid era all they want, but man, was it fun growing up watching McGuire, Sosa, Griffey, and all these guys just bang and bang and bang home runs, and you were just waiting for him to hit one.
Chicks dig the long ball. It used to be a commercial.
Bonds, yeah. Barry Bonds is like, I'm better than all these guys. I haven't juiced yet. Now I'm going to start juicing, see what happens. Yeah, we saw what happened.
I just want to see. I want to see 300. I want to see Rod Carew and Wade Boggs. That's what I want to see. And Tony Gwynn. Yeah. I want to see guys hitting 380.
Tony Gwynn was funny. Never struck out, but he never walked.
Tony Gwynn was amazing.
He was an amazing baseball player. It was fun to watch. Cal Ripken knew how to get on base.
Everybody, the guys could hit.
By the way, those are my other favorite people too. Cal Ripken's all Hall of Famer if it's not for the consecutive game streak. Well, he had the consecutive game streak, so now what? Kyle Schwarber said to me last week I wasn't breaking Cal Ripken's record because he had the gastrointestinal virus last week.
Cal Ripken's not a Hall of Famer. What if people argue? It's amazing.
Because people don't know anything and never seen these guys play.
8-time batting champion, Tony Gwynn. 84, 87, 88, 89, 94, 95, 96, 97. Run it 4 years in a row.
Did he hit 494 or was he close?
I don't think he ever hit 400, but
no. Well, obviously he didn't hit 400, but I know he was close to hitting 494 and the strike hit. He might have hit 394 or something.
Career 338 hitter. Career.
Yeah. What did he hit in 1994? The strike year. He was close to 400.
Let me look.
He was making a run at it.
There's nothing better than a guy making a run at two things. One, DiMaggio streak, and
by the way, that's never going to happen again.
No, and 400. But that's never when's the last time anybody got past 30 game hitting streak? I don't pay attention anymore. You probably
might have been Gabe Kapler or Jimmy Rollins.
Is it that long?
Jimmy Rollins had a 38 game streak.
Is it that long?
It might be.
Because you never hear about a streak. The highest he ever hit was 394 and 94. So he's
I got that right. 394 and 94. Look at that.
He hit 370 in 87. He hit 372 in 97. Yeah.
Now I think we're getting that with the home runs, like with Schwarber. Like, can he hit 60? Like Cal Raleigh hit 60.
I think Rod Carew hit 388 one year. That rings a bell to me.
Nick Kurtz has a 48 game on base streak.
Well, that's pretty good. But a 56 game hitting streak. Think about that. 388 Rod Carew in 1977.
Didn't Joe DiMaggio have a 56 game hit streak, not get a hit, and then had like another 27
Yeah,
game hit
yeah.
streak or something like that.
Yes.
Jesus.
Yes. Joe DiMaggio had more hits than strikeouts his entire career.
Yeah.
You
John, when I was a kid, I was like, again, when you're under 10, you're not thinking. So I actually thought every day, you know how they have the video with Joe DiMaggio walking through the 56 thing? I actually thought they did that every day before he hit. He walked out and they just had a number and they changed it. They didn't realize it was still after he had it.
You think about today, Joe DiMaggio, the most he ever struck out in the season was 39 times.
Kyle Schwarber strikes out 39 times in a month. He does.
39 times as a rookie. Never struck out more than that.
I think I was one of the early proponents of what's the difference between a strikeout and a flyout.
A lot. You can do a lot putting the ball into play.
You can. Ask Trey Turner yesterday. You can do a lot hitting a small dribbler to the shortstop.
I mean, you can advance a runner, you can sacrifice, guys used to handle the bat. So if somebody was on second, you're right-hander, you hit the ball to right field and move them over.
Oh, that's something no one does anymore.
No.
It's the ball the opposite field.
Yeah, it's bad. It's bad product. I'm sorry. You're a big baseball guy. I'm a big baseball guy. I used to be. I'm not anymore because it's an awful product.
Just like football. Football is an awful product.
Well, they all are. Basketball's awful.
Yeah.
I don't know about hockey. I assume it's awful because everything else is awful.
My dad still calls hockey cat and mouse.
No, analytics have ruined sports. They have. They have.
People don't want to hear that, though.
So DiMaggio, and his career got disrupted by the war. So he didn't play for 3 seasons. So he played 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 seasons. Then he went in the military, and then he came back and played 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more seasons, 6 more seasons.
Can you imagine missing all those years for the military, like him and Ted Williams did, and then coming back and still playing at a high level?
His first, before he went in the military, he never finished lower than 8th in the MVP voting. So he's top 10 every year, won it twice. And then when he came back, he was never out of the top 20 and he won it once.
My pop-up used to tell me some really funny stories about the military because he served in World War II. And I used to ask him, why did Joe DiMaggio and Ted Williams have to go? Weren't they like big superstars? He goes, no one was a big superstar in 1941. Heavy Lamar would have had to go to the war if they would have made her.
Different world, man.
It was a different world. Can you imagine famous people today having to go to war?
Oh, my God.
That wouldn't work. No doubt. All right, Jeff. Good stuff, brother. We got to run. We're towards the end of the
Didn't know I'd be getting into Joe D talk today.
Yeah, I ain't either.
We talked about a whole lot of shit today, boys. Good stuff.
Oh,
appreciate it.
When the Eagles actually start playing, we'll start talking.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, Jeff. Good stuff, man. Thanks for doing it today. We'll catch up with you again soon.
Yeah, I'll see you guys.
All right,
see you, bud.
There's Jeff Kerr.
Give me that Costanza bobblehead.
Yeah, good stuff there. All right, Johnny Mac. Good show today. A lot of good tangents with Jeff Kerr, per usual, with some good tangents. We got a couple minutes left in the show today. OTAs kick off today, Johnny Mac. So the Eagles fans, should they expect to learn anything at this time of the year, John, or is it just a mild bite of entertainment?
I don't think you're going to learn anything significant. I think it's more just the entertainment aspect. I think more often when it comes to young players, like you can find out like if they can't play more than if they can play. But until you get the pads on, but there's a lot of guys that Like, I think Eli Stowers is going to be a star in the spring. And I don't know if it's going to translate.
Well, if he makes it hard to, for them, John, to take him off the field, like you said, that's kind of his best way forward is make
but
him.
that's kind of my point. I'm like, if he
Right.
doesn't play well in the spring, that's not a good sign.
Yeah, he's not going to play this year.
But he should. There's no reason he shouldn't play very well in the spring because everything's, that's what he does. He's a better athlete than everybody else, and you're taking the physical part out of the game. It's just a bunch of 7-on-7 and no hitting, no physicality. So he should stand out. So that's what I mean. Like if he doesn't,
right,
that's like a red flag.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. It's going to be interesting to see, obviously, how it all shapes up. But John, the interesting part, there's not a lot of position battles on this team. I mean, there's really not.
No, there hasn't been for a number of years. I mean, the stuff is, backup. What are the roles for the backup? We talked a little bit about Tank Bigsby earlier. Is Will Shipley going to be the third down? Does he have to be the third down back? Can he even do it? The backup offensive line, is it just going to be Fred or is Markel Bell going to push him? Who's the backup guards? That's going to be interesting to look at. Is it, where do they even start? Drew Kendall's going to be the backup center. So who's going to be the backup guards? Is it going to be Micah Morris as a 6th-round pick? Is it going to be, are they going to move Miles Hinton inside? Is it going to be Willie Lampkin? Tight end. You'll get to see Johnny Muntz and how they utilize him a little bit. We mentioned receiver with Lemon and Wicks. Hollywood Brown. Can Elijah Moore push anybody? On defense, it's like, where's Ty Robinson? Is he going to be able to step up? We talked, with Deontay, Jeff getting some shit over Deontay Lawson, how deep they are linebacker, at least for them. They continue to be deep with Trotter and Small Munden, Chance Campbell. And then the safety spot is the big one, You got a bunch of no names, but, people don't even talk about Brandon Johnson and now Goosh, as Vic called him, along with Cole Wisniewski at safety. But for the most part, it's a entrenched team. Again, sometimes that's good, sometimes that's bad.
All right. Yep. All right, Johnny Mac. We'll see what happens. Still no word on whether you'll be down there tomorrow or Friday?
No, it's most likely tomorrow, but just not 100%. So I can't say 100%.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, Johnny Mac, good stuff. Good show today. Good to be back here. We had off on Monday, so we'll have a shorter week this week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Good to get Tuesday done today. Well done, my friend, and we will catch up with you tomorrow. All right, brother?
All right, thanks all.
All right, thanks, J Mac. There's Johnny Mac, John McMullen joining us right here on Birds 365. I got to thank everybody for being here today. I hope you all had, as I said earlier, a peaceful Memorial Day. Appreciate all of those who served, fought, and died for our country. We do appreciate all of you guys, obviously the ultimate sacrifice. So thanks to all of those people. And if you are a family member who's lost somebody to the service, obviously we keep you in our thoughts and prayers always. And yesterday was for you guys. So we do appreciate that contribution to this nation. Obviously, I don't think our nation's here without those contributions. So we appreciate all you guys. Good to see everybody in the chat. I hope everybody is having a nice day today. I had a decent weekend. All right, Gary, I wanted to see it, Gary. Gary, it's one of those things, dude. I had to go and look at everything over and over and over again. I kept going on, even just going on X and typing in Kyle Busch, even, you know what I mean? Going on Instagram, making sure I saw the videos of his wife. By the way, tremendous strength from Kyle Busch's wife and son, to be out on that out at the track there for this weekend. I couldn't believe it, honestly. I couldn't believe that they were there. But Gary, I'm sure it was a tough weekend. I think you joined in a little late when Jeff Kerr joined in. He spoke a lot about it, but yeah, I couldn't believe it either, Gary. I think it's actually a tremendous show of strength and faith in a way, to be able to do that. Obviously, I'm sure that they are fond of the NASCAR community, who's provided a lot for their family, and they've provided a lot to the NASCAR community. Obviously, you see Brexton is an up and coming racer, but yeah, Gary, that story hit me hard, man. That story hit me hard. Rest in peace, Kyle Busch. No doubt about it. I'm sure it was a tough weekend at NASCAR the whole way through. So, and who won? I watched who won. Daniel Suarez won, right? Yeah, that's pretty good. So, all right, guys. I love all you guys. I appreciate all you guys. I'm down here in the beautiful, great Cape May, New Jersey. Only got to be down here for a couple more days. I'm getting married, for those who don't know, down at the Jersey Shore. So I have to be down here to do some shit, get some stuff handled. All right. Get some stuff handled, and then back to the drawing board here. We do have OTAs this week, which is exciting, or at least somewhat exciting, mildly exciting. The Eagles kind of have really, whether intentionally or not intentionally, they've really taken away some of the excitement, I think, around like this time of the year, where they just don't give you anything. They just don't give you shit. So it is what it is. All right. So June, Daz, it's June 20. So that's coming up quick. But all right, guys, I love all you guys. I got to run. I appreciate everybody for all the support today. Don't forget to hit the like button. All right. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already. Thanks for doing it today. See you next time, everybody.